Hi, I'm John Coleman from ApocatastasisInstitute, an institute for the humanities and alternative college and high school here on New Milford, Connecticut, USA. The purpose of this recording is to respond to your email very briefly, and I thought it would be appropriate to put a face and a voice to our communication. Also, as I will be approaching other naturist camps as well as theaters and bookstores, I realized I'm going to have to eventually, in short order, in fact, come up with an official pitch, generic video for all of those locations. So I thought, why not start that that rough process now with this? And I thought none better than Empire Haven. I'm so happy you got back to me because I have some fond memories of your camp. When I was getting into nudism many, many years ago, I recall one of the first interactions I had with that and with your camp was via a documentary which was filmed by the BBC Corporation, partially at your camp. And that was, I believe, Diary of a Teenage Nudist with uh, Bianca Badham was the British girl who was narrating that on her adventures at different camps. But your camp was one of the ones at the end, and I distinctly remember that. And then about 10 or 12 years ago, I had the good pleasure of attending your midsummer workshops. And I have such fine memories of that. I believe that event has been handed off or has morphed into the Sentient Festival, which certainly looks like fun. So anyway, thank you for allowing me to go down memory lane there. And now I would like to answer your email. So I thought first things first, if I could suggest something here, and that is just to explain very briefly at Buckets to Stacy. So our focus here is basically to retain the best of the mainstream educational world and the shall we say alternative educational world, and to do that in a classroom setting. And believe it or not, naturism does fit into our philosophy, and so do the arts, and so do events such as this proposed film screening to build community. I mean, that's really ultimately what we're about. And indeed, we do focus on the humanities, and that does include the visual arts, such as film and as we'll get into the movie itself, painting and such. So I've included in this email Mr. Kennedy's um, website where he gives a rundown. So you asked here, can you please provide more details about the film and what it's about? So I'll just read this here, and there's all sorts of other info on this page. You can read reviews. Um, you can see a trailer. In fact, I will send you the trailer as well, but I'll just read this to answer your question there. I'll blow it up. Okay. Naked documents three life models, one man and two women, who pose naked for the artist Roisin Cunningham. In the opening sequence, they demonstrate what life modeling is like for us by posing nude for the artist. Roisin interviews them in a studio afterwards, and they talk about what it's like to be a life model. They describe the experience of standing naked in front of strangers and the challenge of posing for long periods of time, and how they got into modeling. What is a model's state of mind when he or she poses naked? Does she focus on a point on the wall? Does she meditate? Does she ever make eye contact with the artist or speak with him? How does the male gaze make the woman feel? How does the female gaze make the man feel? The models also discuss body image. Is a life drawing of a model more authentic than the images of models in the media? Okay. And then here, I just have it scaled up, is the poster for the 2018 film. So you should be able to get plenty of information from Mr. Kennedy's site and from the trailer there. I am also happy for your internal review at Empire Haven to send you the film. I can send you the file, and you're welcome to review it as you consider this proposal. The documentary, Edward tells me, is very well received here in America, even though it's an Irish film. It's actually selling very, very well here in America. So presumably it will have such a response in upstate New York. As Edward is wont to tell me, there is a licensing fee from Journeyman Pictures. I don't know what that is. I assume it's rather perfunctory, but I throw that in for your consideration there. I should also say finally, because you mentioned your customer base and whether such a screening as this is appropriate for them. I would also just throw this out there that this will be a great opportunity for you at Empire Haven to network, if you're so inclined, with local art studios and painting classes and colleges and things in terms of outreach. I'm very familiar with the naturist world, and I know that there's always that interest there in recruiting, shall we say, and that's perfectly sensible. So I just wanted to mention that as well, that this event, whilst it is very appropriate to myself here at Apocatastasis, encouraging culture, whilst it is obviously appropriate to Edward, who wants people to watch and buy his film. I also suggest you at Empire Haven that this is most appropriate for you because it gives you an opportunity to reach out to the local art community and things of that nature, colleges, like I say. So there you go. I hope I answered your email. It was a brief enough email, but I did want to put a face to our text and hope to hear back from you. So thank you so much, and I wish you very well, as I do have very fond memories of Empire Haven. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.